Well, we got the nighttime shot here. It might be a little hard for the camera to pick up to see, but all right. So we have the center console LED lighting kit for the 25 Raptor R. This kit here, according to F150 LEDs, is good from 15 to 23. There's probably just a couple differences I am going to point out. I found out when I was installing the dash cam. So according to the owners, to their instruction here, that fuse panel cover that we have in the 25, it's got a weather pack connector on there. So what I did for the dash cam is I basically filed a hole out so I could close the fuse panel the entire way. I'll show you after what I mean, but this is what this kit consists of. I went with red here. So these are going to be the actual lights itself that we are going to manipulate in place along the center console shifter area. The Y-piece connector here to adapt these and marry these together here. Then we also have our ATA fuse here as well, a ground wire, and whatever unit this is here. I don't know, some type of relay maybe or something. I'm not too sure. But anyways, it also comes with these stickers, instructions. It did include an air freshener and a Swedish fish candy, but it wasn't about that because I'm fat with diabetes, so we gave that away. I'll tell my kids. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and just kind of work this stuff into place here. I got one hand, so I'm sure it's not going to work good here, trying to hold it and record. Let's see how it goes on our 25 Raptor R. And we do have some rain. We need this rain. It's been less than moist. But yeah, let's go and see this. Get this done here. I'm also playing with Forescan here as well. Just waiting for the license to come through for that. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just try to gently pry this over with a pry trim removal tool, which you get Amazon, wherever you want. F150 LEDs. In Canada, things are a lot more expensive here, so getting stuff from F150 LEDs, it's been a little bit pricey. But let's do it. So just looking and kind of playing with this here, it definitely is a lot easier to start here and get your pry tool in here than it is as we make our way on top here. However, you're not going to keep this open and be able to fish the actual light itself through there, so we're still going to get started up there and just try to set it in place here. So once again, get your pry tool out and let's go. So one thing, I try to, keep everything as OEM looking as we possibly can here. So just try to keep this open here. Keep fishing your wire. I'm going to have to tuck in the top of it. It is a lot tighter with that console, but the red LED kit here, it kind of matches the stitching a lot in the piping in the truck here too, for that code orange, I suppose. And I'm just trying to keep working it in here. Try to zoom out there a little bit. I mean, that's going to be totally visible, and I'm fine with that. It matches relatively well here. It is a little awkward getting this seated as far down as we can here. Just going to run this trim tool on here. Try to push it a little bit further. Holy hell, 9/11 just happened there. Come on now. Sorry, the camera setup's not ideal. I basically have a tripod sitting in the armrest here, trying to give you the best angle as I possibly can here for this. And I'm just going to try to push this in here if I can. But it gets pretty tight up here. I'm not going to lie. Hopefully, yeah, my whole hand's blocking it, but you get the idea. You're just going to work it in there as best as we can. Let's keep prying away here. I'm just going to pause this, get this in there. We don't want to show the real life struggles of me as an individual here. Kind of got it in there a little bit better. I had to use a few additional pry tools I had here, but I mean, let's see how it looks after. There is a little bit of excess at the top here, but I do want to try to light everything as best as we can here with it as well. So we'll get started on the other side there. I got my craft from the glove box out there. I'll just do it from this side here. Same thing, pry it back in there and see. But I want to see if I can tuck this in a little bit better here, just because it's a little bit wonky, and then we'll get this tucked away too there. So let's do that. So maybe just a quick blip here. I'm just installing the, goddamn it, the dash camera, hardwiring it as well. So just gonna take the cable, run in there, up through the A-pillar there, just down the molding trim here. Everything's gonna go down here, and we're tying it in over with the fuse panel here for an accessory and a 12-volt constant. And I noticed that there's also a ground area as well that I'm gonna be able to hook up to there as well for the ground for the dash cam. So that's gonna give us a power signal, a ground, and accessory signal out of there. I just have to figure out which fuses are for what there. But in case you're wondering, I will let you know which ones I am using here for the dash camera. So the 12 volts ignition source that I use is actually the ignition fuse itself there. It's number 5 for the 25 TRX. Oh, sorry, 25 Raptor R, just down at the bottom there as well there. And that is a 12 volt switch power as well there. Also, because of the way I have the wire orientated into the fuse panel as well, it can't securely close with its big thick weather pack kind of connector that's on it there. So I just filed a little spot here for the wire to pass through on there to close her up. Fortunately, the angle's a little bit wonky here with the camera, but basically we just pry up on here as well to tuck that wire, I guess, down there. Maybe there's going to be some weird excess here. However, I can't fit any more up at the top there, so I don't know, we'll have to see how that is for tucking that away and making it look as OEM as we possibly can for that. You hear the garbage truck in the background. Cheers to these guys. 8,000 degrees out right now. These guys is out there collecting trash. Anyways, I put a piece of tape up here just to help me hold this in place here. Just because it is really tight here, and that just kind of gives me just an extra set of hands here, so to speak, to manipulate this into place here. It's still kind of a pain, like, as we work it to get it in there. I might have tucked the other side down too far. I'm not too sure, but I was just trying to reduce some of the visibility here. But we'll see as we kind of maneuver this along. I'm just taking the tool and just trying to still work with my finger to get it in there. Once again, the guys at F-150 LEDs, they have their videos, and I don't know, they're pros. They do this, I guess. I don't know. I'm just out here, you know, monkey behind the lens, some kind of tools found on the side of the road there, and here we are, just making it happen, so to speak. So sorry if you can't see that good, but just working it in here. I'll just drop a quick pause there, put it in here, and we'll get to some of the other wiring. Alright, we got that piece in there as well. Sorry, the end of that. Same thing, just use your little pry tool here. Tuck the wires as they had recommended under here. Come on, you bitch. So far, I've probably spent maybe about 7 minutes on both sides combined there as well. So we got that in there, and then we'll see what else we're gonna do next here. All right, we'll go ahead and just click our connectors together here. And for the audible click there as well, doesn't move around, it's secured using your Y piece here, and then we'll do, come on, this terrible camera angles. You know what, it's not a big deal. You know how to click in the connector anyways, okay? Just make sure you're doing it the correct way. And I am not. There we go. Perfect. And then we're going to take our wires, we're going to run it down through here, down to the bottom again there. And once again, we'll get to the fuse panel after. We'll show you what I mean for your 25, or maybe 24 as well. I don't know. Something definitely changed so from the video. Then your third plug there for your Y piece there. Anyways, I left, get more of your black cable in here because you don't want your plug outside here. It's just be one more thing that's be harder, might be fishing it through. So leave that in there, and then we're just try to pry this open again here and just fish that through here. As best as we can. And then we're going to clean up those wires in there after and see what we're going to do with them to secure them. But I'm just going to leave that there right now. Keep moving it, kind of push that in there. And further down here as well. Once again, let's just try to get all this wire away. We don't need to see any of that. One of those guys up F-150 LEDs, they also drop that thing down in there. So, where are you going to go? Should have enough wire to tuck it down somewhere, I suppose. Hopefully. Unless it does have to sit in the glove box, or armrest. So So I have everything plugged in here. Anyways, so we got this black module, or maybe a relay. I don't know what this is here, but I'm just going to zip tie it and bundle up all these wires and leave it in here, because if we start trying to run it out here, then we're going to have this big hard black piece that's just going to not probably fit through here that great or wherever. Slight revision. Tried using my brain here. I think my brain power may have worked out. Anyways, I'm just going to take this here. I'm going to run this up through this way first and leave this piece probably hidden somewhere behind there. So we'll do that rather than trying to run it the opposite way to fish all the other cable through there as well. So I'll do that now. It's honestly easy just to even just pull apart this a little bit here for the clips or whatever there. Pop that out. It just gives you more space anyways to do activities, and then we can have this black piece somewhere there. Back. Then we're still gonna have enough space there. Something like that's gonna work a little bit better for it there. Basically, just continue taking your wire. I'll hide it a little bit better after there. I'll just probably just leave it all tucked up behind the carpet there, and then we'll tap that fuse panel there. And once again, just show you the difference here. So when you pull off your fuse panel access cover here, you still really cannot get to your fuse panel entirely to pop that open to get the cover off. I mean, you probably could, but there is a clip that's further back on it. I've been in here once already before, so I was able to pop that out. But you have a tab on this side and your two other tabs here, and that's what I had made a hole for to get the dash camera in there as well. And so we're going to do another hole again here to put this cable in here as well too, in order to set that in there. And I might need to actually pull this off again altogether, so we might as well show you what we did here to pull this off in your 25 Raptor R. Everything comes apart relatively easy. Just these cheap clips, I don't know if they're cheap, whatever, clips or whatever there. So pop those up there. Hopefully it's just going to pop right out again there. Yeah, we just need the hand here. Okay, so that's done there. Let's go find a little home for you as it's raining again. And then you have a clip that's in the bottom here. A couple other clips back here as well. So we're just going to go ahead, pull on that there. Another clip that's back inside on this side here as well. Take that off. Part of the clip fucking fell apart there. Be fragile, be careful. Anyways, that's enough space now to get in there, but you can see the weather pack gasket on there, and if you have another, like, add a fuse or whatever, it's not going to close. So make your hole, get a file, do whatever you want to do for that there. And then our ground is right up there as well. I also have the dash cam ground up there too. So just some suggestions for you on your 25 Raptor. And according to the F150 LEDs manual, it says to remove fuse number 2. However, I don't have a number 2 fuse on the interior kick panel there. So I'm just going to take a 12 volt keyed fuse, that's 10 amp, remove that, and hook it up to that. That's what I'm doing. You can hook yours up any way that you like, but that's the best way for me, hopefully. And just kind of Dremel this out a little bit. I used a file and some side cutters. Let's clean that up a little bit after. That way this can securely close over the weather pack connector with some wires kicking out of it too. And for reference, the fuse that I used was the USB charging port, which activates when the truck is on. So it's fuse number 30 location, which is right there. You got 2 5s and a 10 that's above it there. So I went with the 10 amp one there, and it seems to work. You know, one thing F150 LEDs did not mention is what the hell do you do with all this wire? Nobody wants this kicking around here. So I got some, we're gonna call it wire loom. I don't know. I'm gonna run it over everything here, and then likely just kind of tape it along here so you don't see the kind of exposed wires and clips. Hopefully this is big enough. I don't know if it's going to work, but that's the method that I'm going to use. So we'll try to tuck it away and see how it looks. So I guess this is basically the finished product of like what to do in here. So my suggestion, what I did is just get some kind of wire loom. I wrapped it up there, and it's just kind of taped in there. Like it doesn't look that great. However, there's really no kind of exposed wires besides kind of, I guess, over there or whatever for there. But that's my take on the F150 LEDs center console lighting, which is great. I do like it. You know, once again, getting it wrapped up here was a little bit troublesome there, but we'll get some shots a bit later, get some nice reviews and see what that looks like. But this probably took the most time. Just putting this stupid thing in here for the wire loom, I would imagine. And then finding the right fuse and just filing down that weather pack top fuse panel connector as well there. But that's my take on it. We'll check it out later, and then we'll give you a final overview. Alright, so now we're back. Well, we got the nighttime shot here. It might be a little hard for the camera to pick up to see, but this is red. It's kind of a soft, kind of a glowing kind of red to try to pick that up there. But this particular color, actually, I think it matches really well with the other accent lighting in the truck here. So, I mean, this is kind of what it looks like. Everything is fairly straight and even going in there. So, just take your time writing it in there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the product there. Minus that wiring. But other than that, we're pretty good. Pretty content with this. So, I'm pretty happy with this product from F-150 LEDs. If you're in Canada, it's also way more expensive because you also get hit with another $45 in some brokerage fees and all that stuff. But be sure to check out some other videos that we're putting together with the mods for this truck. I appreciate you guys checking this out. Leave some feedback if you like it. And even if you didn't, kiss my ass. Zippity-doo-dah.